England. England's is John Terry, and it's got nothing to do with football. January 2010, a story breaks about Terry and the ex-partner of Wayne Bridge, his own England teammate. Within days, Capello's taken the armband off him. Then it goes public in the worst way imaginable. February, Chelsea against Manchester City, live on telly, and Terry comes down the line for the handshakes. Bridge gets to him, keeps his hands by his sides, and walks straight past. 40,000 in the ground watched it, so did everyone at home. 2 weeks after that, Bridge pulled himself out of England contention. He'd been Ashley Cole's understudy for years, and 2010 was his World Cup, the only one he was ever getting, and he said he couldn't be in the same squad as him. So he didn't go. England went to South Africa a left-back short and got taken apart by Germany 4-1. And Terry's got a record nobody else has. He's the only man ever stripped of the England captaincy twice. Got it back in 2011, lost it again the year after over a case he was cleared of in court and banned for by the FA. And he retired from England before the FA had even reached a verdict. Worth a word on Wayne Rooney here too, because England do love turning on their own. 2010, group stage, drew 0-0 with Algeria, and Rooney walked off past a camera and said it was nice to see your own fans booing you. Never quite got them back after that. Rooney lost them for a short bit. Terry never recovered. Brazil. Now, we haven't forgotten about David Luiz. The 7-1, the armband, the crying. No chance, but this is a different one, and it's 4 years earlier. Felipe Melo, 2010, quarter-final, Brazil against the Netherlands. Brazil are the best side in the tournament, and Melo starts it beautifully, slides a lovely one through for Robinho inside 10 minutes. 1-0, cruising. 53rd minute, Sneijder whips a cross in, Melo climbs, gets there ahead of Julio Cesar, and heads it into his own net. 20 minutes later, Robben's on the deck, and Melo stands on him. Straight red. Brazil are out, and Dunga's gone within days. One player, one afternoon. He set up their goal, scored the other lots, then got himself sent off and finished the job. And Brazilians didn't just blame him for that game. They asked why he'd been anywhere near the squad. Melo caused his villain status all by himself. Ireland. Saipan. A tiny island in the Pacific, May 2002, and this is where it all kicks off. Ireland have flown 13 hours to prepare for a World Cup, and the gear hasn't turned up. No balls, no equipment. Then Roy Keane, the captain, the best player the country's ever produced, 30 years old with one World Cup left in him, has had enough. He tells a journalist from the Irish Times exactly what he makes of the situation. 3 days later, Mick McCarthy calls a team meeting, stands in front of the whole squad with the article printed out, and asks his captain to explain himself. What Keane said back has been quoted in Ireland roughly 10,000 times since, and not a single word of it can go on this channel. It lasted about 10 minutes. It went through McCarthy's playing career, then his managerial career, then somewhere well below the belt. And nobody in that room said anything. Nobody stood up for him. He was on a plane the next morning. Ireland went to that World Cup without their captain, got out of the group, and took Spain to penalties in the last 16. And the country tore itself in half over it. Families stopped speaking. 24 years on, you can still start a row in a pub in Cork with one word. He did come back, in fairness. Brian Kerr brought him in again in 2004, and he played on for a bit. But never under McCarthy, and never at a World Cup. Ireland haven't been to one since. There's a second Irish name here, and honestly, it's the stranger of the two. Stephen Ireland, 21, the best young player they had, walks out of the squad in 2007 because his grandmother's died. Only she hadn't. And when that came out, the story moved to the other grandmother. But she proved to be alive as well. The actual reason was that his girlfriend had suffered a miscarriage, and he wanted to be with her, which not one person would have argued with if he'd just said it. 6 caps. 21 years old, and that was his international career. Keane's the bigger name, Ireland's the bigger mess, and every country has one. Not the lad who had a rough tournament, the one they wish had never been picked at all. Argentina, 1998, Marseille, quarterfinal, 2-0, 87th minute. Ariel Ortega goes into the box, goes down looking for a penalty, doesn't get it. Van der Sar says something to him about it on the way past, and Ortega gets up off the floor and headbutts him in the chest. Straight red. 87th minute of a World Cup quarter-final. 3 minutes later, Bergkamp scores the goal they still put on Dutch telly every summer, and Argentina are on the plane. And this is the sad bit. Ortega was supposed to be the next one. Same club as Maradona, same number, same left foot, and the Argentine press had been calling him the heir since he was 19. He never got near it. 2 South American giants, same opponent, same round, same stupid red card in the last 5 minutes. The Dutch never had to beat either of them, they just had to hang about. Denmark, Nicklas Bendtner, or as the entire football world calls him, Lord Bendtner, and they're not being nice. The talent was real, by the way. Denmark haven't produced a number 9 like him before or since. What came with it was a level of self-belief nobody else on the planet shared. He'd sit in interviews and tell you he was one of the best strikers in the world, completely straight-faced. Euro 2012, he scores twice against Portugal and celebrates by yanking his shorts down to show a bookmaker's name on his underwear. UEFA fined him 100 grand for it, more than he'd have copped for failing a drugs test. Then there's the drink driving, the fights, and in 2018 he broke a taxi driver's jaw in Copenhagen and did 50 days for it. He finished on about 30 goals for Denmark, which is a perfectly respectable return, and every single Dane will tell you the same thing, that it should have been twice as many. Italy. Mario Balotelli, Euro 2012, semi-final against Germany. He sticks 2 past them and stands there with his shirt off like a statue, and the whole of Italy decides they've found the next great number 9. He was 21. That is as good as it ever got. 14 goals in 30-odd caps, and he hasn't been near the squad in years. What happened in between is basically a list. Fireworks going off in his bathroom the night before the Manchester derby. The training ground rows. The bibs. A queue of managers who all turned up certain they'd be the one who finally cracked him, and all left saying exactly the same thing. And in fairness to him, Italy was never an easy place for him to be. He took racist abuse off the terraces for years and got asked about it in every interview he ever did. And that would wear anybody down. But the talent was there the whole time, and Italy only ever got glimpses of it. There's a second name here too, because Antonio Cassano was the same film a decade earlier. Ridiculous ability, fell out with every single person who ever picked him. And Italy have missed 3 World Cups in a row now, the country that's won 4 of them. And every time it happens, somebody over there points at the lads who could have carried them and didn't. Cameroon. Cameroon 2014 isn't really one player, it's the lot of them. It starts before they've even got to Brazil. The players want their bonuses sorted, the federation hasn't sorted them, so the squad refuses to board the plane. World Cup's days away and Cameroon are sat in an airport. Then they actually get there. Second game, Croatia, 40th minute, Alex Song wanders up behind Mario Mandzukic and elbows him in the back. Straight red, for absolutely nothing. And then, 63rd minute, Benoit Asu Ekoto headbutts Benjamin Mukanjo, his own teammate, on the pitch, at a World Cup. 4-0 down. The rest of the side had to pull them apart. They lost that one 4-0 and went home with nothing at all. France. And we'll finish in France with Karim Benzema, and this one isn't sad at all. 2015. Somebody copies a video off Mathieu Valbuena's phone and starts ringing him up, telling him it goes public unless he pays. Valbuena does exactly the right thing and goes straight to the police, and the police start listening in. And then the blackmailers bring in a new middleman, Karim Zenati, career criminal, 2 years out of prison on robbery and drug convictions, and a childhood mate of Karim Benzema. October, Clairefontaine, the France training camp, and Benzema walks into his own teammate's room, tells him there's a video and it's hot. "Be careful, Math," he says. "These are big, big thugs. But don't worry, I know someone I trust who can sort your problem out." He never mentions money once. Doesn't have to. Valbuena walked out of that room shocked and said he felt like he'd been taken for a fool. And then Benzema rings Zanatti to report back, and the police are recording it. He tells his mate that Valbuena isn't taking the bait, and the two of them have a laugh about it. That call got played in court. Versailles, 2021, and Benzema doesn't even turn up, calls the whole thing a masquerade, and gets tried in his absence. The judge found he got personally involved, with insistence, pushing Valbuena towards his trusted man, and that he'd shown his teammate no kindness at all, very much the opposite. He'd gone at it, the court said, with a certain excitement, even jubilation. Guilty of complicity in attempted blackmail. 1 year suspended, 75 grand fine, 80 grand in damages. He played for Real Madrid in the Champions League that same night. He appealed, then dropped the appeal, and his lawyer put it about as honestly as a lawyer can. The withdrawal accepts the conviction. It's a judicial truth, but it isn't reality, and Benzema will always claim he's innocent. And France left him out for 5.5 years. Not a ban. Deschamps just stopped picking him, kept picking other people, and won a World Cup without him, while Benzema watched it from his sofa like the rest of us. Then they took him back at 33, and the year after he was convicted, he won the Ballon d'Or. Drop your nation and your pick in the comments, and let's get into it. See you in the next one.